thinking, oh, you must be suffering. And they said, I know some of you are thinking sorry for me, but I'm feeling sorry for you. You've got to stay here. You've got to stay longer in this place. I'm getting out of here. He just couldn't keep him down. Somewhere or another, whatever it is, we hope that maybe it'll be different in terms of the details, but it will all come to that point where we're completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, chanting and hearing about Krishna. Krishna will help. That service, we've seen more than I even before. Remember, you told me the story of Triveni that time, remember? Even though someone may drift away and get into a sort of a lifestyle which isn't seemingly very Krishna conscious, Krishna never forgets, Prabhupada never forgets the service that you render. And he makes arrangements. Somehow or another he takes away that which is an obstacle on our path of devotional service. When the time comes, he makes the arrangements. Sends devotees along. He himself comes. Was that Sudama? Subal or Sudama who had that experience in hospital in New York? One of them, I can't remember. Did they both pass away, or was it
Sudama?
Sudama, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes,
Sudama. When his death came, he wasn't living much of his life very Krishna consciously, you could say, in one sense. And he was very sick, and in his last days he was Krishna. Obviously his devotional fever or his devotional sentiments came up, and he wanted to be with devotees, so devotees were there. But he was immobilized, he couldn't move and couldn't talk or anything practically. He was lying there in the last moments. Suddenly he sat up on his bed and said, Prabhupada, you're here. Prabhupada, you're here. And then he just collapsed on his bed and died. So Krishna never forgets the devotion, whatever it's rendered. Bear that in mind. But we shouldn't take it for granted, of course. We shouldn't take it for granted. We should try to remain stable and try to continue to persevere with our devotional practices. Anything else?
I'd like to ask you one question. Thank you very much for this profound class. Sorry if my question is less significant than what you've been discussing so far.
You said, if you can, I'm a bit hard of hearing.
You said that we should learn how to utilize our talents in Krishna service.
Very intelligent.
Yeah, and intelligent. At the same time, there are certain activities that Prabhupada prescribed to do, like chanting, Harinama, books distribution. To what extent we can spend time on something which we are thinking, as talents, and then to utilize them in Krishna service?
Yeah, it is an interesting, say, challenge to some of us. It's an interesting feature of our movement. I would understand that as we mature, please forgive me. Thank you. We will see you on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Or you're going to stay for Prashad? Mm-hmm. You have to go. We'll see you on Sunday. Radha Krishna one. As devotees in our movement mature, it seems like Krishna's he's empowering devotees, of course, to become more expert. The spiritual master is very expert to see what is the favorable service for the disciple. No doubt in the beginning you need help. If the helpers or the guides are more, but you're going to get whatever is favorable. It's just arranging just what is favorable. Don't worry. But as we become more mature, then it will become more easier to understand how to balance this up. Because no one can just do what they want in this material. That's not how the material is. But to a large extent, it will be seen that that's what the Vedic system was focused upon, the Varnashram system of engaging people appropriately to make it easier for them to become Krishna conscious. So that will happen. And that sometimes happens straight away in people's lives, possibly because they're already, a little more mature. For many of us who come from very sinful and backgrounds, confusing backgrounds, and sometimes in the beginning we don't even know what is our proclivity. It's sometimes shrouded over by material conditioning in such a way that we don't know what's good for us, or even what our real nature is. Many people don't know what their nature is. Varna Shankar means unwanted population. So in this age of Kali, people hardly know what they are, and we see devoted, well, maybe I should just, maybe I'm not a Brahmin, maybe I should just be a Shudra, maybe I should just do business, maybe I should be in charge around here, oh, maybe I should take sannyas, no, I should get married, no, I should have children, no, I shouldn't have children, no, I should marry another woman because this woman's not good enough for me, or man, or whatever it is. We sometimes don't know what we're doing. So it takes a bit of purification sometimes before we can have a bit of clarity as to what we really are happy or best at doing. We always think, I'll be happy if I do this. You do it and you're still not happy. This happens again and again and again. Some can just surrender and depend on Krishna, and Krishna will show. Even though that activity may not be a long-term activity, it will happen. Krishna will arrange things appropriately. I had a personal experience one time. Maybe this illustrates it. We were selling records, and it was just records, no books at that time. The temple manor was in terrible debt, and Soho Street, Bury Place then. We were in so much debt, we had bailiffs coming around, and there were court cases and so many things, so we had to get out of debt by hook or by crook, so to speak. That was the words we were told. So some devotees had organized this massive fundraising program, just selling records, and any means making money. And there was practically no spiritual practices whatsoever, and there was minimum, bare minimum. And almost every able-bodied man and woman was out trying to collect money. And if anything in my life was austere, I'd say that was an austere time. So I was on one of the, we were on the crack party, we were the heavy party. His name was Alalanath, then he's something else now, but he was a heavy, we used to call him, now he's the, what do they call him, the
SS?
SS? Yeah, maybe like the SS.
Gestapo,
yeah. Really heavy. So we were on that party, and it was so tough, like 6:30 in the morning, we were on the street at 6:30 in the morning. We started at 6:30 in the morning. Nobody around except for milkmen, postmen, drunkards, and a few people like that. We were going up to the postman and the milkman and trying to sell records to them and things. All we would eat every day was a hot loaf straight out of the bakery and a bottle of cold milk. That was our daily fare, and a packet of peanuts during the day. That was our prashadam. And there was no class at all, full stop. Anyway, we never ever wore devotee clothes. It just wasn't my cup of tea. None of it. But we surrendered and did it. I was having such difficulty, I thought, I'm going to get out of here. In 1 month, went 6 weeks, I was struggling. Oh God, I can't carry on doing this. And then at a certain point I thought, well, let me try to understand this in relationship with Krishna. Well, I thought of Krishna. If you're in control, nothing can happen without your will. Somehow or another I'm in this position. There's a reason for it. And it's not just because we're in debt. And it's not just because, these devotees like to see us suffer. There must be more reason to it than that. And I just thought, well, Krishna, you know everything. I don't know. But if you want me to do this, if this is what I've got to go through, you've got to give me... I kind of petitioned him in a sense, maybe it wasn't so pure. You've got to give me the strength to do this. But I can't do it if you want me to do this. And, honestly, I can say that from that day onwards, everything just changed. It became like fun. It was funny, I was like dancing in the street, selling records, and chanting Hare Krishna at the same time. It changed things. It was a little tiny example Krishna gives us sometimes. We take shelter of him, he'll look after everything. So I felt quite okay with that. But we would come back every 2 or 3 weeks to the temple. Next time we came back to the manor, the GBC came and asked me, he said, I'm really sorry, but we have to ask you to change your service.